All right, hello and welcome to Module 2, which we will talk a little bit about here in this video, which is mindset. Mindset is very, very important, and you want to create a very positive experience for the business owner when you meet with them, so you're not a pushy salesperson, which is great, because these days, they're getting sold a lot of stuff, so this will be great. The mindset that we want to talk about is we need to get them to agree with a couple of things before you can start quote unquote selling this stuff. They need to agree, and you need to get them to say yes to a few things. The first thing that you want them to agree with you is that cell phones are kind of getting ridiculous. Everyone is connected. No one is using the actual, normal telephone anymore. More and more people are not calling each other, they're text messaging each other. So what you want to do is when you have a business owner with you, you say something like, listen, me and you, we both know that, cell phones are kind of getting ridiculous these days. Everyone's got a cell phone. Would you agree? And they'll say, oh yeah, they hate business owners. If something I know is business owners, they love and they hate their cell phones. People are calling them constantly, text messaging them, suppliers, they hate it. I've met a lot of business owners that will tell you that they hate being connected just because they get disturbed the whole day with emails and different things like that. So that's the first thing you want them to sort of agree with you. And you sort of you go into it saying the same, like, oh my God, everyone's got a cell phone these days. It's almost ridiculous. You've got kids now, they're like 7 years old, and their parents buy them their own cell phone. It's crazy out there. Get them to agree to that. You want to get them to agree that it's ridiculous, but it's a big opportunity and they have next to no choice to start doing it. So that's the first thing. One, cell phones are ridiculous. They're everywhere. People are not communicating the way they used to. Everything's done by text message. The second thing you want to communicate with them is that everyone is text messaging, and it's a big trend right now. And it sure is. I mean, if you're in a restaurant, you tell the restaurant owner, let me ask you, have you ever been to your to your restaurant and looked around and saw your customers? And a lot of times it's couples, they're sitting like this and they're text messaging, and they're one in front of the other, and they're text messaging their friends. They're not even talking to each other anymore. So you have to get them to agree that everyone is text messaging, and it's not just the young generation, it's young and old. So that's the other thing that you want to really hit the nail with and say, listen, everyone right now is text messaging. Text messaging is huge. The next thing you want to get them to agree with you is that text messages are read very quickly compared to email, Facebook, Twitter, and all these other things. And how you do that is you explain noise or marketing noise to them. So you say, listen, would you agree that, if you had a Facebook fan page, are you a fan of Facebook? If you're not, let me show you my cell phone. But a lot of people are doing social media. It works great, but there's a lot of noise. So you show your wall and stuff and show how much traffic and, posts are on the wall. So if they're sending out a coupon or a great deal off Facebook, 9 out of 10 times people won't see it because there's just so much stuff going on their wall. Email is another thing. You could say that email rates, open rates are ridiculously low now, and most people don't check their emails as often, and they just delete emails when they see them now, especially if it's for deals and offers, because they're getting bombarded with all this stuff. So that's another great way of doing it. The other thing that you want them to agree with you is that if they have a cell phone, text messages are read so rapidly. Ask them, if you receive an email and you're busy, will you look at the email? Most likely not. But if you get a text message, you're wondering, who's this? This might be my daughter. This might be, who's text messaging me? It's something that they'll agree with you. They'll say, you know what? Absolutely, I don't have any text messages that are unread right now, but I probably have 3 or 4 emails. So that's very powerful to get them to agree to that, so that when you lead in with your presentation, and your presentation gets them to agree even more on all this stuff, it makes it very easy for us to then say, well, we can agree this is a big trend. We can agree that, this will work in your business. Let's give it a try. Let's give it 30 days to see how it works. So that's the mindset I want you to have with this. And, the other mindset or thing that you want to think about is that Most businesses are not contacting their customers on a regular basis. So they're losing out a ton of money. It's a big asset that they have in their business, and they're not using it. So that's the other big thing. So get them to acknowledge that they're not talking to their customers, they're not building a relationship on a weekly basis. And if they did so, they would probably make more money because their customers would, their business would be top of mind. They could get customers coming back in more often. And that's the other thing, you want them to agree. So let's move on to the next quick video here.